It's Lancaster Woodturners Weekly Coffee Hour number 238. My name's John Kelsey. I'll be your host as usual. Uh, I've been posting videos fairly steadily. The way to find them is to go to my YouTube channel, which is John Kelsey Artisan. You type in any part of that and it'll come up. There's a playlist of coffee hours and also of shop tours. I've posted the Barbara Dill videos, and I posted Ellis Wallentine, and I posted a 12-minute video of fooling around in Ellis's shop that I was going to show you today, but I don't think I can risk trying to do it from the iPad here because I'm operating from an iPad. So those of you who would like to see Ellis's single car garage shop down from 2,400 square feet, go to my channel, subscribe. Well, I'm talking about that. I'd appreciate it if people who watch the videos, you guys and others who are going to watch this video, give me some likes, give me some comments. We get a few hundred views on most things, sometimes 500, sometimes 100, once in a while of 10,000. And I think YouTube pays attention to the likes a lot. So if you watch the video and you enjoy the video, give it a click. I'm also formed the habit of at least posting my email address in this section of the video while I'm talking, so people can get on our list. And we every week or two, another guy comes along or another woman and says, "I'd like to join," and I put them on the list. I have a list of about 200 odd people, which I email to you. I break into thirds so that Google doesn't chop me to send the invites. But the invites are really, as you know, a reminder because it's the same link every week. Once you got the link, you're on. Okay, that's my housekeeping. Anybody club business? What do we got coming up for the clubs? Ziegler, would you want to tell us about Lancaster up and comings?
Sure. Rick Atkins is going to demonstrate a series of like 4 or 5 different things at the lathe. And then on Saturday, the 8th, Angelo is going to be demonstrating and getting people involved with hollowing end grain. Ideally, in anticipation of Aiko Tanaka's September demos at Mid-Atlantic, but we're not sure if she's coming. So regardless, Angelo is going to give us some tips on using different tools to do end grain hollowing in open shop.
Angelo does a pretty good demo of back hollowing, which is what Raffin does too, and it's amazingly fast. I can't quite do it. I see what's going on, and I think I do it upside down. I don't know, but
Well, it's fun. It's funny you say that because Bill Heaps was trying to think of a demo for March, and I think I got Angelo to agree to do a demo in March, but he didn't want to do back a hollowing end grain again after he does it at open shop. So maybe he can show us some back hollowing.
I think probably he's going to show you what back hollowing anyhow. It's a way
Yeah.
of yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's so good at everything. It's remarkable. So he's probably
Yeah.
going to be the March demonstrator.
And I think when I get back, I'm going to make a video at Angelo's tiny shop. I mean, I had fun shooting a video in Ellis's Wallentine shop the other day. And Angelo's tiny shop is 8 by 10, 80 square feet versus 200. So it's an amazingly effective tiny shop. It's remarkable. I worked in a stairwell once, so you can work anywhere if you really want to. Let's see. Any other club news? Somebody on here is doing sharpening demonstrations with Harvey, and it's guy. The name is on the tip of my tongue. I don't know if he's on today. Giving him a chance to pop up and tell us about it. I guess he's not on. How about Susquehanna? Any upcoming? What's the upcoming stuff for Randy from Susquehanna? Randy's skiing someplace.
Yes. Yes, I just came back from Banff in British Columbia.
Ah,
Uh, it was minus 14 degrees Fahrenheit.
your piss hits the ground before your piss freezes before it hits the ground.
Yep. You can spit and it bounces. But anyway, the Susquehanna Ski Club is going to have a hands-on again this month. Tim Siebert is going to show us how to make whistles, and it's going to be a hands-on. So we're going to take in a whole bunch of blanks and make small whistles.
Oh, I love that. I made whistles and I loused up 2 for every one that worked. And there's a trick in there that has eluded me. So maybe I'll come to that. What date is that?
That is the second Tuesday of the month. It is the 10th, I believe.
I can't
I
can't make it. I won't be. I'll be back, but I'll be busy. Well, another time. You guys will post a video, maybe.
we probably will record some of it, but we're not going to do a Zoom component that night.
Okay. Let's see.
It is the 11th. It is the 11th.
Okay. 11th of February, Susquehanna
Yep.
and Harrisburg Woodcraft. Any
Yep.
other local club news?
Yeah, Quad State Bodgers, I would say a work session, but I'm going to use Barbara Dill's comment. It's a play session on this Saturday at my
All
place.
right. At your place in Keyser, West Virginia. Keyser, how do you say it?
Kaiser.
Kaiser. Okay. Any other local clubs? How about Nittany Valley? Okay. I want to go to the show of hands then. I see some people we haven't heard from in a while. I'm going to prefer them first. Let me see. Duxbury, we always enjoy you. Let's start with Duxbury.
Okay. Oh, I think you'll like this one. Let me switch cameras here. Like I know what I'm doing here. I've been working on my spheres. They used to say
Bowman, please
ball.
spotlight him. I can't do that.
Okay. These are 4 spheres, 4¼ inch diameter, yellow heart with cherry stripe in it, and a Wenge dot with a maple center. Anyway, I've made many of these, and these are turned by eye. I do not own a sphere jig, sphere cutter.
Those are fun to make. And Doug and I made a bunch of those. What's the distance between the spheres, the optimal distance there? How much gap? I can see, okay, you got a substantial gap.
And on one, yeah, the secret is the race has to be exactly wide enough so that you get a space between the balls. If you don't have a space between the balls and they touch each other, it'll mess it up.
Yeah, they grind. They're not rotating opposite and they fight.
But
Yeah.
after I made dozens of these, everybody said, I can't believe you wouldn't make one that's motorized.
Oh, my dog. What a dog you are. Now, what's turning there? The turntable.
Yeah, it's magic.
The middle disc, right? The little white maple disc in there, that's what's turning.
Yeah, here, I'll take.
Plug it in again. Plug it in again. Let's see it go.
Okay, in a static position, most of the weight is down on it's a maple turntable.
Yeah.
And this will start out going this way. But once it gets started and this picks up, the weight of it's overcome, it'll start to pick up on the tangent part and turn this and it'll go the other way. Now, actually, it won't do it, but see how it goes backwards?
Yeah.
Now, oh damn. Oh,
Yeah.
now, once the static weight is overcome and this starts to pick up, it'll go the other way.
Here it goes. What a good trick. So what's the motor? What are you using?
The motor, let me pull it apart here. The motor is a 50 RPM gear motor I bought on the internet. It's got a square drive. This is a maple turntable. And this is the motor. You can see the motor here.
Yeah.
This is pretty strong. This is 50 RPM.
It doesn't have a variable speed, eh?
It could have, yeah, it's a DC, it's 18-volt DC. When I first made it, I thought it should have a bearing surface here. And I put this slippery tape or whatever it is, and it didn't drive it right. It just would not, there's something about it wouldn't work. It was too far out. and it wasn't uniform. So I glued a washer in here, and the washer puts most of the weight of this plate right on the center of that disc.
Yeah, that's what it wants. Yeah.
And that's what it wants, yes. And that's,
I'm surprised about the knob in the middle there. I would have thought that would interfere with the spheres.
no, I draw this first. You can see that.
I mean, it looks like they're touching it.
No, it doesn't. It's a quarter of an inch away.
Huh.
So why is it there?
It's just for him to get in and out of there.
Ah,
That kind of works. When you put the fourth ball on, it spaces it, and now it'll pick up and go the other way around. But before, the motor was really grinding, and it was not nice. Now it's working good. I can run it.
Now you
I'm
got to
afraid-
you got to combine that with one of those magnetic levitation things, you know.
You got. Don't say it. I can't know how many hours I got in this thing, and I'm afraid to sell it. You don't know how long that motor's gonna last.
Yeah.
I'll give it a try, Jim. You ship it down here.
Well,
Okay. You got more to show us?
I could show. You've been doing a lot of offset turning, and I do. Barbara Dill does spindle offset turning. This is faceplate offset turning.
Yeah, we love that. And
This
I'd
is
love to see
turn-
somebody, I'd like to see somebody unite them mathematically and all that, you know, with diagrams and pictures.
I can do that, but this
I
one,
know.
the center is off of the here. Actually, this is off this from the center. It's off this much. That's the
Yeah.
offset, and then these are just indexed. So there's like 9 centers on here. This
You
one,
show us these, and every time I'm bewildered as to exactly how this happens.
it's not hard. Well, it's not easy either. But anyway, the offset is right here. This is the amount from here to here is the offset.
Yeah.
And then each one of these, you can see the center of this, it's actually over here, and the center of this is actually over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So each
I am
one
going to
of
have
these
to,
is indexed.
I'm going to have to make a duck's chuck and figure this out. No amount of explaining is going to make it clear to me till I do it.
I made a big one, and I just did a workshop and a demo in Florida, and they had a great time with this. There's all kinds of things you can do from here. I mean, I got dozens of different things. These are just offset dummy things, but I got dozens of things. Anyway,
As if I needed another rabbit hole to go down.
you got it. Well, this is one. I'll tell you. I've gone from the little one that fits on the Talon check. I now have a faceplate. I shouldn't even tell this. I mean, it gets dangerous because this piece is flying around. It's not nice. I don't even show it, but you can do all kinds of stuff with this. Also, I have the faceplate is moved sideways. I have one that's angular so that you can turn it angular and move it sideways. And they have those in ornamental chucks. I forget what they call them, but when you go angular, that's another whole world.
Whole other world, that's for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, that's me. I have a good.
Okay. Let me see if I
Are
can.
you an engineer, Jim? Are you an engineer?
No, in fact, I dropped out of college so many times. I'm on the dean's list a couple places, but I never got a degree in anything. I got too much other stuff to do.
Okay, thank you, Jim.
Yeah.
Stan, what do you have today? I haven't heard from you in a bit. Stan Pressner, right?
Yep. So the the news is I have recently, about 2 weeks ago, become the president of the Catskill Woodturners.
Just a sec, Bowman, you got to run the spotlights. I can't do it.
Okay, I got rid of that one. You want me to spotlight this gentleman?
Yep, I do. And then
Now
we'll go to the, yep.
Now I
Um,
got you.
So I've recently become the president of the Catskill Woodturners. We meet in Kingston, New York. And with the Mid-Hudson Woodturners, we have recently built a 20 by 40 shop because there was a spot we had been using for many, many years, and it finally became unavailable to us. So we had to build our own shop, which is onerous, but a lot of fun. In the meantime, I've been very busy. I'm trying to figure out the best way to show these. Many new projects. So I hadn't really done spoons before, so I'm sort of experimenting with all the different ways one could do spoons.
Those are nice.
And this set, I really like that, but this set is you can do two at once.
Yeah, that's what Stephen Hogman did all the time.
Yeah. So, but I really like the shape of a nice rounded handle, which you
Yeah.
can't do that way. So that's one. They're sitting in this Purple Heart bowl. I don't normally turn exotics, but sometimes. And then a local market asked me, hey, can you do rolling pins? And, it's the easiest project in the world, right? But it's very, there's 5 more. You don't need to see all of them, but these curly maple ones in particular are very pretty.
The thing about rolling pins is you got to have a big enough piece of wood.
Yeah.
That's what always defeats me. I go to make a rolling pin and I find this piece of wood isn't big enough.
I actually had to call a friend and say, what do you got?
Yeah.
Because
So what's the diameter on those?
everybody's preference is different, so I go from about 1 1/8 up to 2.
So you could get them out of an 8/4 plank.
Yeah. Yep. You can get them all out of 8/4.
I always thought that was too skinny.
No,
So there
not
you
at
go.
all. Not at
Yeah.
all. Those French rolling pins, this is at about 1 1/8, and that's what a lot of bakers prefer.
All right.
So there's that. There is this, which is probably the finest bowl I have ever made. A, the wood is gorgeous. B, I am rarely happy with the shape, but I'm thrilled with the shape of this.
What's the wood?
It's spalted maple. I did leave this one patch of bark, which I hardened.
How much and how hard was, did you do a lot of sanding or did you manage to cut that?
No, I managed to cut it. So
It's a gorgeous piece.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with it.
Show us the inside of it again, please.
Yeah.
And just hold it still for a second so we can just enjoy it. Yeah. Gorgeous.
Yeah, I have a little bit more of that wood. It was just a friend's maple. The same friend, I think I might have shown you a piece from this before, but this beautiful ambrosia maple, of which I have about 2 dozen bowls drying now, rough outs.
So what are you turning on?
I was on a Laguna 1836. I recently went to a Harvey T60, which I'm loving.
You're loving it.
Yeah.
What's it now? Tell us about that lathe. We're not familiar with the Harveys.
It's a DC motor. And in its electronics, when it senses itself struggling, it gives itself a little goose.
Yeah.
Which is delightful, especially when you're coring. It's a 24-inch swing. It comes with a beautiful tailstock swing away. It's just smooth as silk. It's heavy. It's about 800 pounds. Turning an 18-inch platter, even from the rough out, it just had no hesitation.
And what is the price on that?
Well, Harvey, I don't know why their prices bounce up and down. So I waited till it was down to $3,900, which I think is a bargain.
That is a bargain for a lathe of that size. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I sold my Laguna for $3,300. So, at a net cost of $700, I'm very happy.
What horsepower? What What
Well,
horsepower?
it's rated at 2, but it's a DC motor. So it feels more powerful than any 2 horsepower I had ever been on.
Is it 110 or 220?
220. The downside of it, the only bad thing I can say about it is that unaccountably, their banjo is the height you would expect from an 18-inch lathe, which
Uh-huh.
all of your tool rests are not long enough, the stem.
And you're doing about that what?
Well, so first I called Steve Sinner and I had him make me a couple that were long enough. And then I went, this is dumb. I know that I prefer a one-way banjo anyway. So I ordered the one-way banjo and then all my old tool rests would work fine.
Uh-huh. So it fits the lathe.
One-way will make a banjo plate to anything you want, any lathe you want.
And does the headstock on that thing rotate or anything cute like
It
that?
doesn't rotate, it slides.
It slides, so you can slide it right down to the tail end.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. And like I said, just a really heavy duty tailstock swing away, which is great.
So what is your shop like that you could move a lathe that size in and out?
So I moved into this house about 6 years ago. It had a 3-car garage. I stole 1 car of the 3-car garage. And a year and a half ago, I built a 17 by 20 addition on the front of that 1 car. So if you can get it up the driveway, it can roll on concrete all the way through the garage and into the shop.
So it's all level, in other words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's
the
nice.
front of the shop is not. It's a 3-foot drop, but if you can get into the driveway, you can come right in through the garage.
Very, very nice.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's got windows, it's bright. It just makes me happy to walk in there.
you should walk in there with a camera one day and show us.
I will. I'll do it to
Yeah.
it.
Questions for Stan? Let me go back to a gallery view here. Questions for Stan? Stan's fairly new with our group. Looks like they're just all impressed.
One last thing, we're always looking for demonstrators for the Catskill wood turners. So if anybody's interested, please contact me. We're not that far away.
What's your meeting schedule?
It's usually the 2nd Saturday of every month.
Morning, like afternoon, what?
Noon.
Okay. The reason I ask is that I drive up your way all the time because my son lives up in Shelburne Falls, Massachusetts.
Oh, great. My sister lives in Shelburne Falls.
Yeah, my favorite route up is up through the Catskills, you know.
Well, John, if you're coming by, let me know. I'd love to show you both the club shop and my shop.
I would enjoy that. Yeah.
By the way, what is the artwork directly behind you? Or is that a show thing? Are you a photographer as well?
He's a retired art director.
I made my way through college, or partway through college, doing hand models, shooting hand models. But that is part of a show that I curated and designed that tours the country. It's called Through Positive Eyes. And we went to 12 different countries, trained 12 different HIV positive people in each country to document their own lives. And that's one of the pieces from the show.
You're a retired art director, is that right?
I am a demi-retired scenic and lighting designer.
Ah, okay.
And occasionally curator of art shows.
All right. More questions, comments? Okay. Thank you very much, Stan. Doug, how about you? I'm holding Stu off because I know he's going to try and share screen.
I don't plan on sharing screen. I just wanted to show everybody I made a small, after seeing the hollow forms and the small hollow forms that we showed a couple weeks ago, I went out to the shop and took some cocobolo that I had and made a small hollow form vessel. It turned out really well. There's no varnish of any sort. It's just Beal polished and waxed. Anyway,
you can do that with cocobolo. Now, how'd you hollow that?
Effectively, well, I took a screwdriver, not as and also an Allen wrench, and then bent them into the shape I wanted and sharpened them up and used it on a small handle to
Nice.
hollow it out. Yeah, I'm pleased with the weight, but I just wanted to show it, you know.
And how are you coping in your shop with this weather?
I have a small propane heater that sits right beside my lathe. So and in the really cold weather, I cope with in my shop by staying in the house. but the propane heater is enough just to keep my feet warm and keep the chill off. And I've also got my smock is one I got from Britain a number of years ago, and it's really heavy wool-lined smock as well, so it keeps it warm. So, and also fingerless gloves help as well if I'm really cold, but it's going okay. So that's all I have.
Okay, that's very nice. Thank you. I'm starting to learn how to use this iPad. It's kind of fun. And here's how I see everybody. This is magic. Okay, now I'm starting to understand I didn't believe it was I've been able to do so much. I decided to deliberately travel for a month with nothing but an iPad and see if I could do everything I wanted to do. And amazingly, I've been able to, although with some struggle. So there you go. Okay, Stu, you got it.
Okay, let's see what I can do here. Yeah, we gotta.
Stu is going to show us some amazing epoxy thing, I think.
Well, it's a black poplar burl, and
we ain't seen it yet. We're just seeing you.
Seen it? Well, what's going on here?
Saw it for a minute.
There you go. Now we got it.
Got it?
Yep.
Okay, it's black poplar burl, and I try to load it with some epoxy, and
well, what is all that in there? Is that seashells or?
I'll get there. You be quiet. You wait.
That's what?
You see the blue at the bottom?
Yeah.
Well, that was my first pour that I did on it, and into the pressure pot, and it pressured it down. I wanted that blue a little higher than that, and it shrunk. So anyway, I got it back. I got it out, and I worked with what I had, and I had to come up with an idea to fill the top end and make something different. So I loaded it with pistachio shells. And I actually had core this, eh? I had a core out of here that center is basically a plug. So I didn't use up it's too much epoxy. And anyway, I filled up with it, the cavity with pistachio shells, flipped it upside down and re-poured it again. Well, same thing. I lost a lot of my resin. I didn't have enough. So I ended up with actually 3 pours in this thing. So I started turning it, and you can see I got blue in the bottom and that burnt orange top. And then there's a little spot, a little section in the middle, about 1.5 inches, that is even a different color. So I was kind of worried about how it was going to look, but it actually blended in pretty good. And there it is. I got the plug out of the middle, and I'm coring it out, following. And the core that I took out of here, I'm going to make a lid for this. So right now it's in the pressure pot, and I'm going to make a lid for this.
Very nice.
There it is.
I didn't think that was going to work out at all.
Well, I was kind of surprised with it too, John, but it actually turned out pretty good. And I do have a video, but I don't know why it's not coming up here. But it might be, I have to stop the share and start it again to get
We'll give you one shot at that. And while you do that, I'm going to say that last June I did visit Stu and also Bert in their shops in Edmonton. I shot a lot of video that I intended to edit into shop visit videos, and I just haven't done that. I'm sorry. One of these years I might get around to it, and then everything will be different. I don't know.
Well, let's see what I can do here.
Hey, Stu.
Bowman, how many do we have on screen right now?
We have 50.
50. Wow.
Yep. Are you doing spotlighting now? Did you learn how
Nope.
to do? Oh, okay.
I'm not. I'm just I'm at my end switching from just sliding the finger from I'm looking at you, and then I slide over and I get a gallery view, and I scroll up and I can see all these smiling faces and all the ones who don't have their cameras on. And I would prefer you did have your cameras on, but that's up to you to do it, of course. But I like to see the people's faces.
Sure,
Hey,
you didn't have
Stu.
her hat today, so.
I was eating brekkie, so I turned my camera.
Okay. No, we don't need to see you eating brekkie, you know.
Okay.
That gets a bit distracting. Okay, is that a video, Stu? Did you get the video?
No, I can't find it. I'm not sure what happened to it, but let me see what I can work with it. Maybe next week.
Any
Okay.
comments or questions for Stu before we let him go?
What did you use to core with? I mean, not core,
Hold it.
to turn. What did you turn with? What tools you turn with?
Inside, I was using my Jimmy Clues hollowing tool.
On the epoxy.
Oh yeah, it works great.
Jesus. I tried that.
Owen, you're going to have to come up here for some lessons.
Okay, well, yeah, because I have his tools and I try them every time.
What are you doing wrong?
Huh?
What are you doing wrong?
That's what I want to know. You have a cup cutter, right?
Yeah.
I have a couple different cup cutters, and
Yeah.
boy, I have to go to the negative rake. That's the only way I can get smooth. So
No, it come out really nice. There was hardly any sanding on it too. It cleaned up really good. And
oh, you're really hurting me now.
it's a black poplar burl, and the burl wood is usually rough as hell. It can't give you too much of a smooth finish at all. And right now, I've only got one coat of flood coat on it, and it looks beautiful. It come out so good. I'm gonna do a light sand with 320 or 400, and give it a second coat, and I think that's going to do it for this one.
Hey, Jim and Stu, you guys need to do a collaboration, do a Zoom meeting shop to shop like I used to do with a couple of people in Vancouver during COVID.
Yeah.
He'd turn in his shop and I'd turn in my shop, and we just talk back and forth just like we're doing now. You and Jim need to do that on this the hybrid stuff, and then that way it saves you a little airfare, Jim. We're just trying to keep some money in your pocket so you can buy more epoxy.
I took all the camera apparatus out of my shop. It was in my way, but I can still do it if I have to, you know.
Yeah.
I'll
Okay, we
bring
got a
all my
bunch of
cameras out to Stu's shop so we can Stu can have all my cameras set up, and Jim, you probably got a camera or two in your shop. We could have some fun with that.
we got a 25 minutes here, and a lot of you guys haven't shown us anything for weeks and weeks. So if you got stuff you want to show, this is your chance to get some airtime. Meanwhile, I'm going to give Bowman a moment. Bowman, you want to show stuff?
I sure do.
And we got a Randy. Randy's got a hand up. I wouldn't mind hearing from people we don't usually hear from. That's even more fun. And I see Ernie on there looking growly.
I'll see if you find any of my stuff fun. So
okay.
I know I'll get a lot of comments. So I've been just deep into this rabbit hole of off-center turning.
Well, we're looking at your. We're not seeing any.
I know. I'm trying to decide which picture I'm going to show you first.
Well, start to show us them all. You know, show us the sequence. There you go. What is going on here?
Well, let me go to the next picture because that'll give you an idea. This is my epoxy blank that I started turning as an off-center thing. And oh my gosh, you can see it's just chipping out like crazy. Well, it was way out of balance. And so I went to my big nut drawer and got two big nuts. I use waste blanks on either end, which are CA glued on. And I use them to screw the stuff on. And I said, I know I got to protect myself because at 1500 RPM, it's not much fun to have a nut fly off. So I took hose clamps and I really did them in. So I feel pretty safe, and boy, it makes a difference, I'll tell you.
So those are to give you balance on this off-center
Yeah,
contraption.
matter of
Yeah.
fact, this one was before it was balanced, and it was just all over the place. It's real easy to do because you have to put the weight right above the center, so it's very easy to get it balanced, except for how much weight you need. So I just put them when I'm on the point that's up near the top, then I put the weight up there. So let me see what else I got in here. This was the black.
Jim,
Yeah.
do you have to adjust those weights every time you change the centers?
Oh, Doug, that is exactly the problem. I have to, because I have 3 points on this, I have to move them 3 times. So I'm trying to figure out how to do a rigging that I can put weights on that I can move easily. Maybe you got an idea, and boy, I'm open to it.
I think an
Let's
Escalon
talk-
Chuck does that for you.
I'll
Well-
tell you one thing you can look at. Look at Barbara Dill's book on page 104. And
Yeah,
I built one of those things, and it works absolutely perfectly. You can balance an off-center thing, and it's really safe, and it is amazing. It's so
Mhm.
simple. It's just a disc and the extension. So look on page 104 in Barbara Dill's book and just make one.
Yeah.
It takes you 15 minutes to make it.
I had the book, and I saw that you built or talked to her about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem is the epoxy is really heavy, so it's more off balance, and because it's half wood and half epoxy, or a third and third, whatever, it really gets out of balance, and the weight is just phenomenal. So you got to really slam a lot of weight on it. So
But
Well, where's
you're
that
working
going? What do
between
you-
centers. You're working between centers, right? You're just
Yes,
using
I am. Yep.
yeah, and this disc will try it. Just try using the disc. It's so easy to put as much weight as you want on, and you don't have to have hose clamps or nothing because you're just bolted solid to it. It is amazing. Just get a disc and take a look at that page, and try it once, and you'll be amazed. I was totally blown away. It was so simple, and it just works.
Yeah, I
Well-
would be pretty afraid with those hose clamps and nuts. I mean, for one thing, if you get your knuckle anywhere near them, you're going to lose your finger.
Well, the on either side of them, it's straight. I'm not doing any cutting of the curve with anywhere near that.
Well, that's exactly where my knuckle's going to end up when I'm cutting the curve.
Well, here's the other problem too. You need to go very smoothly balanced when you're cutting epoxy. If you have any chatter of the tool at all, you see what happens. Just takes off the glass. My shop's full of shards right now. I have to vacuum it all up.
Well, what I want to know was where did this piece go? Did you finish it? What is it? Did you get anything nice out of it?
I am still working on it. I'm waiting. I ordered a new carbide round cutter from Easy Tools, which they claim are designed specifically for cutting epoxy. And today I'm going to put it back on. It's supposed to arrive today. I want to see if that helps anything. What I have been doing is patching them up with 5-minute epoxy. I just use straight orange mica powder, so I can match it pretty good. I'm determined to finish it. Whether it's going to be a showpiece or not is a different question. But
Check with Kai from Germany on those cup cutters. I bought a set based on his input, and they work perfectly on epoxy on hybrids.
I have a set of them, and I have one on, and it does not work for me. Am I demonized or something? You guys keep claiming you do it, and I have the same cutters. I bought them when Kai talked about them,
I would like the information on those cutters because I recently replaced the cup cutter on one of those tools that I have, and it was like $20 for a single cutter. It was like, and I didn't have the information about where you guys buy them in bulk. So I wish you'd post it again in the chat or send me an email or something.
I can send you. I think I got them through Amazon. They're like 10 in a pack or.
Yeah, they came from Amazon. Yeah.
The thing is, I don't know what they are. I don't know what I'm looking for. So that's the, send me a link or something, please, or put in the
Jim.
chat, the link in the chat. I'd
Jim, I need to
appreciate that.
I need to take a drive down to the coast one of these days anyway. Maybe I should drop by and we could work on that, your different tools together.
I'd love it. I'd love it. Wait till it's
I'd
warmer though.
I'd join you, actually. That would be a fun day.
Hey, they're telling me my internet's unstable. I think they mean I'm unstable, but hey,
Yeah.
you can buy these face plates commercially, I think. The one with the spurs in, is that what you're seeing? The
Yes.
studs. I bought a heavy duty faceplate, had it bored out a little and tapped them all. And then I got these studs. They're actually, they have a Allen head on the other end. And I just put them in my drill and took them up to the grinder and made points on them. And then I think it's next year if I go. Yeah. And then I just grab a slab of wood and slam it up against there. I don't have to flatten it on that side, and I can move it around a little till I find where I want. And then I cut a foot on the other end, and then I get rid of it. It's really, I love it. So
That's a nice way of doing it. That's a really good idea.
yeah, I'm not sure I'd want to. You can't do anything but that with it. But I ended up turning out this. This was a piece of maple. That was on our greens here, and the guys cut down the old tree, and I grabbed some of it. And once I made that thing, I just had to give it a try. So I stopped my off-center stuff and went to this, and
I want to notice there isn't a bit of plastic in that. See how nice it is?
There wasn't, and it feels nice too. I was able to.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about all those sharp shards of epoxy or anything like that.
No, I know. Now, here's the question for you guys. Oh, this is the puzzle of why is the centers like they are? I have a three-sided thing, but why do I have B? Why do I have the B one there? Well, that's because I'm twisting one of the curves. It's not in line with the other one. I want it twisted. So let me see if here, you don't.
And what are you making with that? Yeah, show us what you're doing with that. Okay, so.
Well, this is my mock-up. I ended up not liking the bottom half, but this is a mock-up of cedar post. And I did this was Jim Duxbury's idea on the bottom here. I got an article from him that he had done a candle holder. No, it was a vase. I forget what it was, Jim. But I loved that idea. And then he combined the curve with this. And I looked at it and I said, no, I don't think that's good art. So I don't know. I may go back to it. That's kind of my thoughts.
Where are you trying to go with this?
I want to make art. And actually, John, you would be impressed. I sketch out some of this stuff. I never do that. But there's so many mechanics to it. You got to get it in your head right. So
well, I'm looking at this though. If you were to cut that thing off below the sphere in the middle, the top part is a really nice piece, and the bottom is, what's that about?
That's right. What is that about? Yeah, that was my very first off-center turning, and it was trying to emulate what Jim had done in his article.
But that top section, you got something that's really pretty there. It's like nicely shaped, and it's.
Oh yeah. Actually, this John is. I took a picture of both, and I did Photoshop on it to make one that I thought I would be turning. This one had I wonder if I have it on here. Maybe I don't. Here's the original turning I did, John. My very first one following Jim. I don't have it on here, but I had a tall piece like this with a small curve in the bottom as well. So.
Hey, Jim.
I'm liking the off-center curves and all that are very nice, but the crankshaft is.
Yeah. Well,
hey, Jim.
Yes.
The bottom part where it looks like there's like a camshaft.
Yes.
There's some really old pictures from the 1700s where that was done, but they made them thinner and they rotated them about 5 degrees each, so they almost look like stair steps going up, and they really did.
That's a great idea, actually.
Yeah.
I don't need any more ideas to do, but
I found a Diderot encyclopedia on turning, and it's almost all very elaborate jigs that do off center and amazing sorts of jigs, and very hard to understand because the text is all in French. But hey, you see, those are nice.
Yes, they are. And this one was again a blank cedar quarter 4x4 cedar post that I just threw in the lathe and made this shape. I want to find good wood and do it if I like the art of it.
That's a whole lot prettier than the crankshaft.
Yeah, I know. That's why I actually was turning those crankshafts down when I broke the mock up. So yeah, and these are easy compared to
Jim, just as a question, you're talking about art here. What you're doing is exploring what different shapes you're making before you decide on the piece that you really want to make as an artist. Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly right. This is my footprint.
That's how you do it.
With this kind of stuff, I have to wrap my head around which points go where and what sequence. Like, for example, I'm trying to decide if I want to line up the curves the same. I have them at 90 degrees right here. The bottom one's turned 90 to the top one. And I'm trying to decide if I like that better or if I want to have them scooped out opposite, you know what I mean? Like the bottom one turned exactly 180, or if I want all on one side. So
I'd go for 180, but this is the process of developing a vocabulary with a new technology. That's a very useful thing to do.
Yeah. The reason I said about this is parallel turning. Parallel turning doesn't involve wrapping your brain around it as much, nor way out of balance material that you're cutting ghost wood all the time. This is the biggest challenge here is getting the curve to look the nice dimensions. When you come and you have to turn in from one side, move it to the point, and turn the other side. So this literally was my first parallel turning one.
And you're in danger on the second one of turning right through it, of course.
I know. And the other point, which is your force is no longer has a straight through force. I mean, it depends how thin you make it. This one has very little force when you crank it down, which you want to do because you want to run it fast, because your chisels again cutting a whole bunch of ghost wood or air wood or whatever you want to call it. Well,
all right.
That's my fun. So
okay, gonna pull a plug on you and give the floor to somebody else.
Yeah, by all means.
Okay, Ernie, haven't heard from you in a long time. How are you doing? You have no sound. Turn on your mic. Still can't hear you.
Should hear me now.
Yeah, we got you.
Hello. All right. I've been very busy lately, all kinds of stuff happening, and a full course lineup for this year. But at any rate, I have turned quite a few large acorns for owners of timber frame buildings who like them hanging from various beams around the building.
Drop finials.
Yeah, drop finials, exactly. And it's kind of an interesting thing because one will tell another owner and they come to me. And I just got a commission for 6 of these large ones. And the owner wanted, I always try to offer things, texture, color, everything. I'm playing with the colors on this one yet. But he wanted it, and I suggested, well, we could screw them because he wanted to be able to take them away when he left the house someday. And so these screw into the ceiling, but they will be all hollowed out. So there is actually a secret compartment in every one where you could hide your pot or your doubloons or whatever you want to hide in there. And
Bitcoins.
Yeah, Bitcoins. But as Paul Krugman calls them. But at any rate, that's a good idea.
That's a good idea. So if I were to send you my 3/4 inch threading tools. Could you sharpen and reset them up? Because I've basically destroyed them by doing it badly.
Yeah, it would bring back old memories because the first time I ever met you, I stopped off while you were still at RIT and writing, just starting with fine woodworking. And we played for a whole day with the threading tools.
Well, yeah, well, I still have those threading tools. You know, that's what I use.
And I used to wonder where the volcano was. They were pouring those things down because Brookstone gave me an opening order in 1975 or 6 for 25 grand worth of them, and then they doubled the price.
Wow. Yeah. So is that what you're showing us today? Is the acorn?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. I'm going to go back to the gallery view and see. Let's see. Randy has. Thank you, Ernie. Good to hear from you. Randy, what do you got?
Well, I have been making some pens. These is just a standard slimline. I made it a bit different than that. The one thing about slimline pens is that they're highly modifiable. You can make them and change them any way you want. And you can make them look completely different, or you can make them look like a slimline. This one is kind of a faux European.
Randy, is there a difference in quality in the guts in these things?
Somewhat. As far as the slim lines, you can get them for up to about $5. Those are a little bit better than the some of the fun lines or the less expensive ones, which aren't made as well. Essentially, one thing that where they cut the corners is when you extend the point, there is usually a detent inside the transmission that when you turn it, it extends and then it slightly retracts, and that locks the point out. If you omit that, when you're writing, if you press hard, the point will actually back up inside the transmission. And I made 3 of them so far, and I have about 4 more sitting down and staged for turning. And last thing, I was so impressed by Barbara Dill.
I tell you what,
I went out.
We all ought to.
I don't know if you can read it or if it's backward, but
no, it's right. We can see it.
Oh, okay. It's back. Yeah. It's backward for me. So, but I've started reading this. Of course, I was out skiing last week and a couple of weeks before that, so I haven't done a lot since Christmas. But
well, I'm really impressed with the quality of her illustrations, which I think she did herself. There are really good illustrations in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you say that was a slimline kit you were using, Randy?
Yes. Yes. Okay. And basically what I did was I hollowed the end out a little bit so that, and sized it so that this part goes up inside there. And so when you push it together, it actually goes inside. And so they used to call these Mont Blanc, and then Mont Blanc objected to that, and now they call them European style.
Nice idea.
But you can modify those in any way, shape, or form. There are people that they call it a long line, which is one complete blank from one end to the other. And the way you adjust it, you extend the transmission is by turning the nib. There are endless ways you can modify slimlines.
Nice. All right.
So that's it.
All right. I'm looking at the chat. There's a very large piece of chat there from Kai about, I guess, these cup cutters. Kai, do you want to explain what you're doing here? How do we understand this information?
Yeah, just a short explanation. Go up to the first. I had to put it in there in 3 parts because otherwise Zoom doesn't accept the text when it is too long. So that's why it is broken down in 3 parts. So what I basically do is I use carbide inserts for cutting aluminum. And you can get them on Amazon. The interesting part is maybe the code they use for these cutters. There is an example, the RCGT1204MO, and then that gives you the code or the explanation for the code. So R means round, then the C is the relief angle, in this case 7 degrees. Then they have a tolerance class, which is not interesting for us. Then the T stands for the design with a countersunk hole, and they can only be used one-sided, so you can't turn them around. But that's due to the relief angle. And then the 12 means they are 12 millimeters. So that's about half an inch.
And they take those little Torx screws in the middle, right? That holds them in.
Yeah. Well, maybe you can use them with other screws as well. I bought the screws that they use in metalworking as well to fix them on their tools, and they often have metric threads, and they are special screws for these inserts, so they are more expensive than normal countersunk screws. But yeah, that's
Now, are you using these for epoxy or for hollowing or for both?
for both.
Yeah, I found them pretty effective as a hollowing tools, but then I also found it pretty easy to shatter them.
Yeah, I use them for hollowing, and I use them also on man-made materials like epoxy and stuff like that, because they hold the edge far better than even HSS or high-speed steel turning tools. And then I posted one link to an Amazon offer in the United States, but there might be better offers. I just want to give you an idea what you have to look for. So that's the long link. I don't know why Amazon needs to have links that long, but that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually, a quick tip for you. If you go down the link to the question mark, you can ditch the rest of it, and the link is effective.
Really? What's the rest of it all about?
Don't ask me. I don't know why. I do that all the time. You can actually
this is also Amazon in Germany. Does that link carry over to Amazon US or Canada? I guess it might.
I looked up the inserts at Amazon.com, so that should be the American Amazon site.
But that comes back here with a DE, which I think means Germany.
Oh, does it? I didn't realize that. Does it work?
On it, it goes to .com. Like Kai said.
Huh. Okay.
I looked mine up on Amazon.ca, and it was the same. I just did a search for aluminum cup cutters, and then I went back and looked at Kai's information and found out they were the exact same. So Amazon.ca, Amazon.com, it'll be there if you use the description.
Hey, I'm gonna share my screen real quick because I have it up here.
Well, I get the chat as a file after this hour. I think you guys can download the chat. I hope you can. I don't have any other way to give it to you.
So John, if you're having problems with the quality of the ones you're getting, I would say go to Carbide AZ, because that fella there has really good quality carbide cutters, and he has these circular ones like these.
Does he have cup cutters too? I buy some of his because they're good ones. I didn't know he has cup cutters.
I think he does.
Okay. Yeah, that worked again. Like I mentioned, that's a trick you guys need to know. You just need to go down to the question mark on a big link like that, and only take from the question mark to the beginning, and that's how I got to that link. So
Okay.
All right. I
So
think we need somebody to make a video on setting up and using these tools. Because
I mounted one of those cup cutters, Kai, on who makes the angled. They tell him, oh, what's the guy's name? He makes cup cutters.
Doug Thompson.
No, another guy that's known for him. Anyway,
Hunter, Mike Hunter.
Hunter, thank you, Hunter. I put one of those
Mike
that
Hunter.
you're using, Kai, on a bar that was cut at an angle, and it works great too. So yeah.
Yeah, that's
Sure.
what helps you hollow with them.
John, if we go down to Maryland to see Jim, maybe we can do the video at the same time.
That'd be
Oh,
good.
geez.
Oh, I see. There's Hendrickson is posting John Lucas videos about this as well. So the information's out there. I'm just too dumb to find it. Good. And I'm noticing it's 11 o'clock. How many survived here, Jim? How many people do we have on at the end here?
We have 44. We have only a few that split to get coffee or go to the bathroom. I don't know.
Thank you all very much for another entertaining hour, and we'll see you all next week.
Hey, Don.
Or will we? Yes, I'll still be in Florida. I'm at my sister-in-law's right now, and I don't know where I'm going to be next Thursday, but I'm going to be somewhere here in Florida one more Thursday before I get home.
Thank you,
Hey,
Ken, I
John.
love
Hey,
your
John.
Valentine, Ken. I love your
Yeah.
Valentine over your
Take
shoulder.
care,
guys.
John.
Thanks, John.
Thanks,
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks. Have good.
See y'all.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.